Hi, my name is Comfy Stennis. This poem is entitled No One Has Photo Albums Anymore. She saw that we'd become distorted. Maybe she read it somewhere. Either way, that made it okay for her to weep. Not knowing who she is or where her family is could easily lead to her kissing cousins or providing blood type Crip cousins, the kiss of death, guncock, doot doot doot, shoot. Her roots are our roots, and they too have been shortened by seas that have seen us sweep enslavements below decks and create a new demise that we dismiss and despite millions fighting for our rights in the past, we as a people still remain uncivil, and in current day, we be dissolving just like they wanted us to. One side of you, a family, can never seem like a more discombobulated, disarrayed, dysfunctional type view, especially when the people who hate us are killing us in multiples. Then we turn around, carry the one, times it by two. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. She hasn't quite been herself since her grandson was slain in these streets, and Auntie usually has this book full of photos for you to gaze at, and she'd make you a meal, tell you jolly of our people's stories, but she realized, what is she doing that for? When no one seems to care about the importance of family or why there aren't as many unfiltered, unsnapchatted, unFacebook photos and aunties and uncles and grandmas and grandpas photo albums anymore. Or did any of us even notice that? This is Ode 2, dedicated to Eddie Tyson. Attention, girls, ladies, women, divas, queens. I ask that you watch the messages you convey to our young girls, because we be they mirrors, reflections. Everything we do, our girls mimic because they look up to us. So the job be up to us to teach them the right way through love, light, and different art forms that cultivate their womanhood and passions. And my first passion was poetry, and like Badu, I met her when a little girl she gave me poetry, and it was her words. But in my heart I knew I wasn't the only girl who loved poetry when things got rough. So whenever I got lonely and needed some advice, she gave me her shoulder. Her words were very nice. And truth be told, the mold of a woman is mirrored by the women around her. And I like to address my mirrors, for I am a reflection of thee, and I reflect that I have learned to be a nurturing spirit like Laverne, have green thumbs like Irma Jean, make collard greens like Gloria Jean, got some of this feistiness from Mary and Brenda. I can't sing, obviously, but I'm musically inclined like Mickey, down to feed the family and sow seeds like Betty, styling and profiling like my grandma Eddie, wisdom and creativity like my mama, Ollie Mae. What can I say? Those are the women that paved my way. And when I was in need of advice, Laverne, she sat me down and said it, but my auntie Badu confirmed it in a song. And since I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff too, I guess you can say that my auntie Badui's words always hit closest to home. See, it's crazy how the women in our family could tell us some things, but they ain't told us nothings until we hear someone we admire artistically say the same stuff, like Laverne. My mother used to say, never make anyone a priority if they only see you as an option. And don't make their problems yours if yours aren't theirs, and I think that's quite factual. Then I heard my auntie Badu say, bag lady, you gon' hurt your back, dragging on them bags like that. I guess nobody ever told you all you must hold on to is you, is you, is you. One day he gon' say you crowding my space. I said one day he gon' say you crowded my space. So pack light. Pack light. Translation, bag lady, stop carrying baggage that doesn't belong to you. Seek the proper healing for your problems instead of masking them with vices or the likes of men and or women who yoke you and don't know how you prefer your eggs in the morning. Because in the morning, when the morning comes, that baggage you put in their closet will still be there for you to carry out alone. So dry your eyes. Please don't cry. You can be strong if you just hold on. Dry your eyes. Please don't cry. You can be strong if you just hold on. And for I hold on to these values and these lessons of the women before me, and I watch the messages that they conveyed to me when they were my mirror, my reflection. Because of them, I have this antidote, you can call it a recipe, on what a hell of a woman should look like and what a hell of a woman should be. A mirror, because the girls be watching, but ultimately some bomb, beautiful black queens. Welcome to the Thrift Store, a place where things are used and unused, a floor of merchandise goods to be nourished and taken good care of as good as or better than its predecessors. Welcome to the Thrift Store, a place I loathed as a child because it wasn't where the cool kids shopped at. But ironically, as an adult, I always tend to find magical, wonderful wonders there. And it seems as though they tend to have everything I be needing, even when I don't quite need it. Aisles of items with colorful and dull stories to tell, kind of like us. We the single people. Ironically, we the single people of the people seem to be a part of a consignment shop too. Welcome to the Thrift Store. A gently used and sometimes overused group of men and women thrown back into the dating pool. A noun, a supply of goods available for use when needed, and I be damn if thrifting and dating similarities aren't the same thing. I mean, the similarities are uncanny, because one woman's trash be another woman's treasure, and another man's trash be another one's treasure. And I sometimes wonder if I'm trash or treasure. Previously, I've been placed in go-backs. I'll come back for you later, carts, baskets, and bins. And if I were an item in the thrift store, what would my price be? Would I be refundable, exchangeable, replaceable? And if I were an item in a thrift store and I could talk, well, I'd probably say things like, I figure you find me here, on this rack, hanging, patiently waiting for you to bypass me just to pause. Look back, backtrack like, ooh, what's that? How much is she? Is she my size? Maybe she can complete my look. So you put me in your basket. And you can continue to collect garments without clarity. Should I start over? Can we go back a little bit?
Yeah.
Are we able to cut it into?
Yeah.
Okay. So you continue to collect garments without clarity as to what your actual vision mission is. What look are you looking for? What it is you think you need? What is this goal you wish to achieve and have in me? An article of fabric material to protect you. Garment, refundable, exchangeable garment, because I've been one man's trash and I'm ready to be trophy, legacy, partner, and non-crime. And I be damned if thrifting and dating similarities aren't uncanny, because one woman's trash be another woman's treasure, and another man's trash be another one's treasure. Straight hand-me-downs, a donation center of used and discarded men and women who are lost and need to be found, or perhaps who will never be found. Welcome to the Thrift Store. Pretty for a big girl. It took me a while to get here. Here, on some I used to hope that my beauty would decide to show up and be present. Gift like the little smart girl in our class who simply couldn't say here when our teacher called attendance, and she was trying to dare to be different, greater than the rest of us, when I was the one who already stood out, making somewhat big appearances like I'm here, present, elementary elephants in the room, so to speak, not so comfortable in this thick skin yet, but me. And I remember when Deron told me I was pretty for a big girl. I was 11, all naive, like for real. Straight feeling myself. Because at that point in time, I hadn't quite learned to feel myself. Why? Because no one looked like me. On TV, no one. In magazines, no one. And when no one looks like you, it's natural for you to question yourself. But now I know better. And if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have lost my perfect attendance and those good citizenship awards. What you mean? I'm pretty for a big girl, Deron. Note to self. Never trust the repeat sixth grader with Iverson braids that lay up instead of hang time. And he wasn't Little Fizz and he wasn't a Morion. Baby boy had them bumps, acne. Call it honor roll because I be honor roll to roast anybody who tried to diminish my radiance at recess set. I'm on a roll to roast anybody who tried to diminish my radiance at recess. You can kick brick, kick rock. And here I am stepping on cracks, breaking mama's backs for picking us last for things like hide and go seek and or freeze tag. And I don't want to play this game anymore. So we fast forward to current day. This lady stops me and says, hey, love, don't take this the wrong way, love, but I love how well you carry yourself. And where do you find all of your cute big clothes? Oh, my God, so cute. My response, well, thanks. I love the way that you love the way that I carry myself. And what you said is don't take it the wrong way. It's about to be taken the wrong way. Who cares that I'm magically graceful and well put together despite my BMI, PSA, being fat does not make you sloppy or lazy. I know that's not what you meant to say. You were just trying to tell me that I'm pretty for a big girl. This is not something you see in your neighborhood, down your streets, but where I'm from, we deep. That's it.
My name is Tyrone Gethers Jr., also known as Inkwell. The name of this piece, Class is in Session. Class is in session, where lies are told disguised as lessons, made to be perceived as blessings. In actuality, they are deceptions, the intended misconceptions. Positive behavior is not imposed, while negative is not opposed. A pure distraction due to not being exposed. Our image seems to be foreclosed. Schools need a better presentation of those who sit in administration that provide dedication instead of padding pockets for information. Parents continue to complain despite opportunities to campaign. They choose to abstain, causing the progression of their student to detain. The dilapidated school facility lacks the ability to provide cleansing sterility to rid structural and behavioral hostility. School boards make backroom deals to pay other things instead of company bills or to provide quality cafeteria meals. Their sins numb to their perceptive fields. Children are the ones who suffer from this neglectful cluster. When will the courage muster to restore educational luster? Hello, it's me. I've been up all night with this weak spot in my heart, attempting to compile the words that express this feeling, a feeling of adoration with a magnetic pull. Is it contagious? Sometimes when a man finds himself in this situation, he has the tendency to allow bashfulness to evolve into fear, causing his stomach to twist and shout with stress. However, I am not like typical men. I tell myself that I must keep on pushing towards my goal to hopefully groove with you in both spiritual and romantic bliss. Where most men have ill intent of only getting a woman between the sheets, my intentions are the opposite. Time after time, relationships fail because of the poor investment in physical matters. Instead, my position is to give your mind the body kiss of intellect, kind words, compassion, and the delectable conversation that it deserves. On occasion, it is okay to be a choosy lover. One cannot pick just anyone to settle down with. I am thankful to say that you are not cooling me out just yet. With your invitation, I want to be able to enjoy quality time and conversation. If only you knew how reviving it is to just be around you. It can be comparable to a summer breeze that sends a breath of fresh air that provides the vessel of my feelings with smooth sailing on a calming sea of emotions. In my mind, thoughts of you tiptoe through like footsteps in the dark, illustrating the portrait of what could be with paints that decorate a true masterpiece. Like a voyage to Atlantis, our pursuit towards a union would be a task with delight and perils. However, whatever oppositions may arise, we must have the courage to fight the power that could stand in our way together. When people ask, "Who's that lady?" my answer would be essential, because you're all I need. With me, you would be at your best, because I would treat you as such. It would be my mission to please you. The sounds of whispers getting louder will express verbal infatuation. Don't say goodnight on an opportunity to drift away on a caravan of clouds that hover over all doubt. It's your thing to be able to experience evolving satisfaction. Dearly departed. Dearly departed, we are gathered here today to mourn the passing of a passion that once burned with the heat of a kindling of a close bond, with the potential to fuse two as one. Yet the warmth was overtaken by a coldness of the break, which allowed winds of Arctic origin caused by misconception of miscommunication to stunt combustible feelings to breathe the air of adoration. Upon reflecting on the deceased, one could say that the relationship was designed with the purpose to fulfill the desires of one that was wanting, yet not deserving. To grant every wish with the goals of achievement and bliss. As powerful as the relationship was, it became weak in the hands of one who doubted. Disbelief caused the potential to fade into obscurity that digressed rather than progressed. Who can comprehend the love that the relationship produced? The social nature, phone calls just to say hello, meaningful messages to illustrate a devotion, quality time spent, compassionate conversations, and an overall sense of being there were the makings of the world that the relationship wanted to create in order to house the beauty of its betrothed, pledging a lifetime. The relationship leaves behind a significant other that questioned intimacy, twisted words, was frustrated by challenges, avoided affection, wasted time, and denied its proposal. As we lay the relationship to rest, let us leave with the notion that despite how it was treated, the relationship's life taught us how to love despite of. Revive. With wings stretched, she flies away from the nest, not looking back for parental guidance, but to journey to establish her place. After soaring for days at a time, she rests perched on the edge of decision, contemplating the next course. Should she navigate through the skies of life alone or with a partner? The choice chose her. He immediately became attracted by the mere glance of her. The seductive yet naive look in her eyes made her both victor and spoiled. The paradox intrigued him with the guise of wanting to know more. He carefully approaches to pique his curiosity. His presence startles and breaks her out of concentration. Before she begins to flee, he starts to show that he intends no harm. With an outstretched hand, he gives the gesture of trust. She puts away her defense and welcomes the notion of companionship. With time, the friendship became kindred. His flock joined with hers, and together they soared the skies together. Her radiance began to brighten the heavens with the illumination of their union. All could see the beautiful example of family that she began to represent. She was a gift to him as he was to her. She was to be both cherished and protected, not because she was fragile, but rare. It was unusual to see a bird with features that were so appealing. He began to notice the power within her and caged her with intimidation. The locks of low self-esteem were used to bind her prison. Daily he fed her insults and quenched her thirst with the tainted waters of disrespect. This diet was given to weaken the spirit with the intent to control. Out of pride, he let her out of her cage to watch her try and fly away in her frail state. Pain kept her at bay as if she was a raging river blocked by a dam. All of these abilities, talents, and skills were negated by his lack of her acceptance. The pretentious smirk of an alleged victor grimaced across his lying face. Love could not be the author of this reversed fairy tale that leaves the hero in defeat. The revelation of true intent was fuel for his fire that set her ablaze. The flesh attached to her began to burn, causing agonizing misery. Her desolation from life was apparent. She lay in a heap, lifeless. During the debate of life and death, she was reminded that there was still hope. Despite her current state, what was done to her was not the period at the end of her sentence of existence, but an ellipse, the opportunity to continue life anew, with the knowledge of what was to conquer what will be. The idea began to spark, to refuel the radiant passion that burned inside her before. Nothing that anyone could do will determine the fate of her destiny. Her strength boldly gave luster to her superiority over all of his negative machinations. And from the ashes, this phoenix did rise.